A growing number of California cities are now charging an extra fee when people call 911 for a medical emergency.
And that doesn't sit well with some of the patients forced to shell out hundreds of dollars in addition to the ambulance bill.
CBS 2 investigator Kristine Lazar is here now with the investigation into these 911 fees.
You know, here in Two at Your Side, we get emails all the time. That's how we find a lot of these stories. And I got some emails from people saying, what the heck is this fee? And I'll be honest, I had never heard of it before, but it's a growing trend. Now, these fees range from around $250 all the way up to $500. Supporters say this money is needed to keep fire departments afloat, but critics say it feels like a tax on top of taxes we already pay. Corey Tom was on the 405 freeway back in February when she called 911.
I said I was in an accident and I told them where I was.
CHP arrived, followed by the fire department and an ambulance. Corey was taken to a nearby emergency room with minor injuries. And in the weeks that followed, she was mailed bills by both the hospital and the ambulance company. Corey is disabled, so Medi-Cal covered those.
But I soon got a bill for a 911 call that I didn't think that I would be charged for.
A $350 bill from the city of Fountain Valley, not for the ambulance, but essentially for calling 911. The fee was to cover the fire department's response.
What did you think when you got that letter?
I thought it was a joke.
Since 2010, Fountain Valley has been charging residents and non-residents like Corey a fee when they called 911 for medical aid. Last year, the city of just 56,000 people pulled in more than $200,000 in paramedic response fees. On top of that, it made more than $120,000 from residents who elected to pay $60 a year for the paramedic membership program, exempting them from the charge. The $350 bill Corey got says very clearly at the bottom that Medi-Cal won't cover it. In fact, most private insurance companies won't.
I just really am just surprised that they would actually bill somebody who's on disability about calling for help.
Fountain Valley is not alone. 12 Orange County cities charge when their fire departments respond to a 911 medical call. Joyce Bash was in Garden Grove in May visiting this strip mall when she tripped on this curb and took a hard fall.
I could hardly speak. They came out, they didn't know what to do, and all I could say was ambulance.
Joyce doesn't remember seeing the fire department arrive, but she was taken by ambulance to the hospital. And just like Corey, she was shocked when she got a $387 bill for paramedic response. Again, that was in addition to the more than $1,000 ambulance bill. Joyce was furious, so she wrote a letter to the city.
And I got a phone call from someone there who said I had to pay the bill. It was a little more conversation than that, and I said, what happens if I don't pay the bill? And she said, if you don't pay the bill, we'll send it to a collection agency and then your credit will be ruined.
This is a heart attack tax.
Susan Shelley is with the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association.
You're paying taxes already, and that should be covering the high priority government services. And what's a higher priority than paramedic service? Nothing.
The head of the International Association of Fire Chiefs told us cities are imposing these 911 fees because of an increase in medical calls for service.
We need to defer those costs, and it's better that we defer to the end user of the service as opposed to having the entire tax-based community pay for that type of service.
In the city of Fountain Valley, its 911 calls for medical aid have more than doubled since 1997.
Most fire departments are really EMS agencies that sometimes go to a fire call, and a lot of fire departments pump more oxygen than they do water.
But critics of these fees say they could discourage someone in need from calling 911 for fear of shelling out hundreds of dollars. Now, some cities like Garden Grove won't charge you if you actually don't use the ambulance. And most cities will waive the fee if you can prove economic hardship. And I will say that Garden Grove did end up waiving the fee for the one woman because she really fought it. And so they got rid of that.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, $250 to $500 for people after you're already paying for your hospital fees, your doctor fees, because remember, those are separate, and then your ambulance fees.
And if they transport you, then that's even more money.
Yes.
Yeah. All right,
Thanks, Kristine.
Thank you.